Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker. I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin and at pipandpin.ca. And as always, links will be down below. Today is May 31st, so just about June, just about summer, and it is episode 79. So today I wanted to start off this episode with our giveaway winner. Last week, if you watched, I had a viewer very generously donate a copy of 52 Weeks of Socks. So thank you very much, Carrie, for donating that prize. And I had asked everyone what they were working on this summer. I know some people don't knit a ton in the summer. I certainly do. I feel like I almost knit more in the summertime because I like to take my knitting, out and about with me to the beach or wherever I happen to be. We have lots of time at the park, lots of time at the beach. So that's what I do. I don't swim. So I don't swim in lakes. But yeah, I do knit on the beach in the sun. So that's good. Anyways, lots of you also knit in the summertime, and our winner from Random Number Generator from Google is Colleen Macy. So congratulations, Colleen. If you want to get in touch with me, you can email me at support@pipandpin.ca is probably the best way to get a hold of me, and with your address, and I will send that over to you. She says she's working on a weekender, then plans to move on to a shawl. And she says her knitting plans don't really change in the summertime because she's in AC a lot. So, yeah, awesome. Congrats, Colleen, and thank you so much, Gary. Speaking of speaking of summer knitting, we do still have our summer knits knit along happening in our Ravelry group and on Instagram. This is all about there's not really too many rules. Basically just what you like to knit in the summertime. So it can be for summer, it can be anything. I like to knit socks, but sometimes because of work I have to knit giant sweaters. So this is going to end on July 31st. So you have a nice long whole month. Another month? 2 months. 2 more months of summer knitting to get in before the end of the knit along. We have a group on Ravelry, so there's a chat thread there. You can share your progress and chat and see what everyone else is up to. If you're interested, there's a very amazing pair of Mount Pleasant shorts in that group. There's also a Mount Pleasant tee with like some embroidery on it. People are doing some really awesome things. You don't have to use a Pip and Pin pattern. You don't have to use one of my designs, but if you do, you get 2 entries instead of 1 for your finished objects. If you don't use Ravelry, that's okay too. We are also hosting this on Instagram. I have 2 prizes to give away so far. So we'll definitely do a prize on Instagram and a prize in that Ravelry finished objects thread. And all you have to do is use the hashtag. Did I write it down? I did write it down. It is Pip and Pin Summer KAL 23. So if you post a picture of your whip or your faux or whatever, plans, anything on Instagram, tag me, use that hashtag, that's an entry as well. And then the other thing we kind of have coming up is I just have a chat with my friend Jessica of Snickerdoodle Knits and Pattern Design Circle. And we're talking all about customer journeys. This is a free event. I'll put a link to it down below I didn't write the dates down. Oh, yes, I did. Okay. So Friday, June 2nd. So it's today is Wednesday. I'm probably going to upload this tomorrow. So Friday, June 2nd, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. We're doing a whole chat about customer journey. So this is, Jessica and I are both knitwear designers, and this is kind of geared towards knitwear designers. But if you're any sort of creative business and want to learn a little bit more about your customers and things like that, that's kind of what we're going to be chatting about tomorrow. So I'll put a link to sign up for that free talk down below in the description. And that's it for stuff, I think. This episode, as I was gathering everything, it's very sock heavy. Just so you know. So if you like socks, this is the episode for you. But I'm going to start with what I'm wearing, which I'm not wearing socks, but I am wearing a sweater. It doesn't have a name yet, but this is the sweater. If you watched the last episode or the last couple episodes, you probably would have seen it. I had a dilemma, as I usually do, about whether or not this was finished or not. I thought it was too long or too this or too that, and I put it on and I asked for my husband's opinion, and he said, nope, it looks great. And I didn't believe him. So I took it to my knitting day that I had with my friend Sam, and I put it on and I said, okay, you will tell me. And she said no, like she agreed that it was perfect, not to do anything to it. So I'm not doing anything to it. I'm leaving it as it is. This sweater is complete. It doesn't have a pattern yet, but I am working on it. It's going to go into testing, and so hopefully I'm hoping to have this one ready for you for August sometime. July seems like a bit of a stretch. I don't think I'll be able to get it done in July. That would be kind of cruel to test knitters. It is a fingering weight, oversized sweater. So unless you're a really fast knitter. But yeah, it is made with a merino cashmere fingering weight yarn. So it's super drapey. I don't know why, but the name of the yarn is escaping me. I will put it down in the description below. But the thing I love about this is I have a sweater that's kind of similar to this, just ready to wear. And I wanted a similar feel, but a little bit different. I'm very much all about like casual, oversized, throw on, look amazing, low effort things. And this really fits the bill, I think. Now that I've been wearing it a little bit, like I was all like, I don't know, and then I never really wore it. And now that I've been wearing it a bit, I really have fallen more and more in love with it all the time. I love the big open neckline. I don't like having things around here. I get too hot, so big open neckline, that's exactly what I wanted. It's super oversized. I think this has like 10 inches of positive ease or something, but because it's so drapey and like lovely, it doesn't look giant. And then it just has these kind of little loosey-goosey 3/4 length sleeves. And mostly I put the 3/4 length sleeves on because I only bought 4 skeins of yarn. So that is how much yarn I had to use. And I ran out. But after thinking about it, I'm actually so happy that I ran out of yarn, because I feel like this is just a 3/4 length sweater. If you want to add, longer sleeves, go for it. But yeah, I'm just super, super happy that I ran out of yarn and didn't make the full sleeves. I feel like the full sleeves maybe would have made it look too big, like too oversized. And then now the 3/4 length sleeves just gives it a little more proportion. I'm going to stand up for a second, I think, too. You know what? No, you're not going to be able to see it anyways. You'll see it in a picture. And I kind of showed it last week as well, but there is a split hem with kind of this V detail that is also very cool. But yeah, you won't be able to see it anyways, so you can wait for the pattern pictures, hopefully sometime in August. For finished objects, I do have some finished things. Everything is socks. So the first one is, I've been working on these for a while, so you've probably seen them. These are the green socks I've been working on. It's a new pattern. The yarn here is Yak Yarnery Yakety Yak Sock in Fiddler's Green. I wonder if she named it that, just to see how many times she could get people to say yak. And then it just is kind of a simple stockinette sock with a heel flap and gusset with a like a reinforced kind of slip stitch heel, and then this cute little eyelet detail on the top. And this was something I just couldn't cast on a whim, because I needed a pair of socks to knit. And the fabric on these is ridiculous, because it is yak, and it just takes dye so nicely, and it's going to be so warm and so lovely. I don't think I have, I think it's yak merino nylon, and they're wonderful. And all the colors that are dyed on this are kind of this like muted, lovely stuff. And then I also I keep finding like pieces of trees and leaves and stuff on them, because I went out yesterday and I took pictures of these, because this is going to be a pattern, I decided. Hopefully it's going to be released in the next couple days. Regarding patterns too, I've decided not to really hold big sales on my new pattern releases anymore, but I will still offer a discount if you're signed up for my newsletter. So that's kind of the only one I'm still doing. So if you like these socks and think, hey, I want to buy those, and I like discounts, then you should sign up for my newsletter, because that's where the discount is going to come from now on. It's just from there. So yeah, hopefully the next couple days, these are going to come onto Ravelry and our website. Very excited. Now, when I was working on these, I thought, wouldn't it be neat if there was another option? So I did another option, and I only have one of them knit. I haven't got to the second one yet, but I wanted something that had that eyelet detail all the way down and was more fun. These are exactly what I wanted them to be. I wanted a plain pair of plain socks with a little bit of something. This next pair is not that. These are just the extra version of those. So I did the eyelet detail all the way down, and then I also used a self-striping yarn. Now, I thought about switching yarns and using scraps, which I also put in the pattern that you can totally do. I think these would make great scrappy socks, but I wanted to use a self-striping yarn because I was feeling a little bit lazy. And so I used Gauge Dye Works Classic, their self-striping yarn in Whiskey in a Teacup, and this is a yarn that I've had in my stash for a really long time, and I'm so excited that I finally got to use it. And then this white is some Autumn and Indigo, I think, their sock yarn. It was just kind of sitting in my stash. Yeah, this is the yarn all balled up. So I have one of them done. There's great pictures of me with one of each sock on, because obviously I couldn't take pictures of just these ones because I only have one done. I haven't even cast on the other one yet. Georgia loves these ones. My 9-year-old is in love with these. So the cool thing about them using 2 colors too is I'm absolutely going to have enough yarn of this where I can make matchy match socks. So she's going to be very excited about that. So this is my kind of half-finished object. And then I actually have another half-finished sock pair. One finished sock, one's not done. And this is not a pattern of mine. This is somebody else's pattern, which is always a treat. I very rarely get to knit other people's patterns, and so it is so nice when I finally make some time to do that. And how this came about is I've actually started tech editing patterns for other designers as well. Not going to talk too much about that right now, but if that's something, if you're a designer and like, hey, you tech edit, I need a tech editor, I'll put the link to my page down below and you can read all about, what services I do and all that kind of good stuff. I'm not going to talk about it, but it's down there if you need it. Anyways, so I tech edited this pattern, and she said, oh yeah, I'm going to be starting my test soon. It's like, well, I think it's really cute. Can I test knit it? And she said, yes. So this is a test knit that I did for Jen Yard, and this is Grannies in a Row, and it is ridiculously cute. It's not blocked yet, and there's ends and ends and ends and ends tucked into this sock here, so it's a little bulgy. But these are, okay, this is so cute. These are actually tiny little granny squares that you do up in whatever scrappy yarn you want, and then you sew them together, and then you pick up stitches and knit this way, and then you pick up stitches, and then you finish the sock this way. And I just thought that was the sweetest little thing in the whole world. I actually used I think I could have gone down in size for my crochet hook. I'm not a super proficient crocheter, and so I don't really have all the tools. And so I made the knitting mistake that I tell all beginner knitters not to make, and I just used the wrong size needle and didn't care about my gauge and figured it'd all work out. And I mean, it did, but this is a little bit looser than what the pattern says it should be, and that was my own dang fault and not the pattern's. Yeah, and then you just kind of switch your yarns whenever you feel like it. I did no rhyme or reason, and my second one is not going to match whatsoever, and I think that's just fine. And then it has a slip stitch heel. And so I asked her when this pattern release was going to be, because inevitably some of you are going to want to make this because they're amazing. So she's actually releasing the pattern on the 2nd. So this Friday, on Friday, June 2nd, you will be able to get this pattern. If I remember, I'll put a link to it down below. You know what? I'll put a link to Jen's Ravelry shop, and then you can go and find it from there. And then she said the first weekend of June, it's going to be 20% off as well. So you'll be able to get this 20% off just for that first weekend. How far along am I on my second one? I did the crocheting all at the same time. Oh, yeah. So I did crochet all the little granny squares at the same time and joined them all together. So using the same, I think I'm using 6 different colors of yarn, but still kind of all random. Yeah, those are all the ends that were tucked into my other one. But I just started to pick up my stitches to work up to the cuff. Yeah. So now that's my take along sock. And that's really all the knitting that I've been doing. I feel like I haven't been knitting a lot, but I totally did, because I knit that whole sock and I knit that whole sock. I knit. I couldn't knit as much as I wanted to because of things that are happening at my house, which I'll talk about in a minute. I'm going to share with you what I was working on, and then I'll talk about other things. Nothing horrible, but kind of horrible. All right, so the other thing that I've been working on is not knitting, but it is embroidery. And I picked up this kit from Bad Anna's yarn store. I picked it up at Knit City 2 years ago. It's been one of those projects that I kind of pick up and put down and pick up and put down. And it's at these 3 sister mountains, which are mountains in Alberta. Yeah, and I think there's like a couple different seasons, so this is the summer one. And I'm actually like just trucking along. So that is my progress so far. So I just had the little bit of lake to do in the front, so I guess I have to fill in all this and then do some little flowers, knots, and then that'll be done. And it's nice to switch up every once in a while. My crafty stuff, because I don't usually get a chance to. I need to be better at just knitting on like personal projects or doing other crafts, like have a set time to do it, because I feel like I'm just doing work stuff all the time, which is, I mean, I like knitting obviously, so I like the things that I'm doing, but it's also really nice to just do some personal projects. I have some like watercolors that I haven't touched in a long time. I have some silk dyeing stuff that I want to try out. So I feel like I just need to carve out some dedicated time to work on personal projects like this. Hopefully it's not blown out in the back, but yeah. I like it. So the reason why I haven't been knitting a ton, and I didn't know whether or not I was going to talk about this, but I'm just going to talk about it because I'm sure I know other people have this problem as well. I did find some moths in my house. Yeah, so they were clothing moths. They are the ones that eat the things. Thankfully, the majority of my stash I do store in Ziploc bags. So my stash is fine. My knitwear is mostly fine. There was a couple things. There was a sweater of my husband's that didn't get washed, and nothing has gotten destroyed. Like I feel like I caught them really early. So I don't think too many things have been damaged. There was a few things that I found that I was just like, is this worth it to save? Is this worth it to clean? That I just threw out. But the majority of the stuff, like my husband's sweater, I did find traces of them, but nothing was ruined. So I am able to save that. Just to be cautious, I did bag up all of my yarn, all of my knitwear. I just got a vacuum sealer, so I vacuum sealed some stuff, and I also just got a new car with a trunk. So that actually came in very handy because apparently, and it's been really warm here, so I just bagged everything up, shoved it in my trunk, sealed everything up, and hopefully if there's anything left on there that I didn't catch, they will die and be destroyed. And then as I open bags up again, I'll make sure all the traces are gone. And then yeah, I've just been cleaning and washing everything that I own. Yeah, but I'm very thankful. It really, really hasn't been too bad, and there's nothing that got so damaged that it got destroyed. But yeah, it does really, really suck when that happens. And I know that I'm not the only person who's had moths before. But it's hard. It's, especially because we all work with yarn and fibers and things, and yeah, and oh my goodness, washing everything is such a big job. But it definitely has to be done. And I did get to deep clean like my bedroom and deep clean the hall closet, and just get to things that needed to get done anyways. So it's a win. But yeah, so all my knitting stuff, aside from the things that I'm actively working on, everything else is in the trunk of my car and is not coming out for probably 2 weeks. So that's why I pulled this out. I was like, well, I don't have anything to work on. Like, I didn't really want to work on that sock that I have left anymore. So I was like, I need something. So I pulled out this. Yeah. I know I wanted to finish my blanket because that's kind of the only other work in progress I have right now is my big crochet blanket. But that's all in pieces in the trunk of my car. Yeah, so that's it, really. The only other thing that I wanted to talk about was I literally just like an hour ago finished an online class on altering sweaters. Maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, I did a free class where I kind of just did like a Q&A kind of thing about how to alter sweaters and different things you can do. This one was actually all about gauge. And so how you can kind of use gauge to alter things. And I do plan on doing some more like this. And I've been realizing lately that Instagram is just not my friend right now. And I feel like a lot of, especially small business owners, are feeling the same way. I'm feeling very squeezed by them, as, they really just want my money and kind of not, just people aren't getting shown the things that I put out there anyway, so I feel like it's a bit of a waste of my energy to spend my energy there. So all that to say, with this kind of gauge altering sweaters thing, all I did was post it to my newsletter. I just sent it to my newsletter following to see, or my newsletter subscribers to see how many people signed up from it. And I did get a really good response from that. So in the future, I think the majority of things are going to be through my newsletter. Yeah. As much as I do, Instagram was great, and Instagram can still be great, but they've just been changing so many things, and it doesn't feel like that's really where I should be spending my time. It's just not very effective for what I'm trying to do, and I just don't feel that same level of connection. Like when I'm talking to you guys on YouTube, I can really interact with you, I feel like, and through email, like when I send out those emails, you can just email me back and I get it. I see it, and we're talking one-on-one. With Instagram, I feel like so much stuff gets lost, and it's just not really the same anymore. Yeah. All that to say is, please sign up for my newsletter if you want to hear from me, because that's where I'm at right now. That might change, but for the moment, I think I'm going to take a little bit of a pause from Instagram. Yeah. It's also not good for me to be on it all the time. So, yeah. Anyways, I think that's it for today. Short and sweet. Congratulations again to Colleen Macy, who was the winner of our giveaway last week. So make sure you contact me with your address, and I will send that out to you as soon as possible. Here we have our summer knit along happening until July 13th, and our free customer journey chat is going to be on Friday, June 2nd, and you can find the links to everything down below. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.